What's up, everybody? My name is Harwin Francois, multi-six-figure real estate investor. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to go over a purchase agreement, specifically where to find one and how to fill one out. Now, if you're someone new to the wholesaling industry and you're wondering what a purchase agreement is, a purchase agreement is a legally binding contract between the seller and you, the wholesaler. This contract locks your interest in the deal, and that way you can assign it to an end buyer, aka cash buyer. This one piece of paper that I'm about to show you guys will not only allow you to close your first deal, but be well on your way to making your first couple six figures in real estate. Now guys, I know it sounds crazy, but this business has completely changed my life. Now, for the people who don't know, I've played basketball at the highest level in Division I. Imagine playing in front of thousands of fans on a nightly basis in the biggest stadiums across the world, even thinking you were going to be next and drafted in the big leagues. And all that changes with a career-ending back injury. I was forced to work a miserable 9-to-5 that I hated until I found out about wholesaling real estate. Without saying any more, I'm gonna show you guys how to do the same thing. Before we get into it, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video, as I got a lot more fire content and gems on the way. All right, guys, so this is a simple 3-page purchase agreement that I used. This is the same exact purchase agreement that I used when I started out, okay? So a lot of times realtors, they have a 12-page, 10-page. With wholesalers, you don't need nothing too complex. There are only specific things that you really need in your contract. The first thing we see is this agreement is made. You would go ahead and put the date, today's date, or whatever date that you got it locked up with the seller. So let's say today is September 12th. We'd go ahead and put, this agreement is made the 12th day of September 2025. Between the seller's name, guys, keep in mind, the property might be under the seller's name or it might be under the seller's company name. So just make sure that you're putting the correct, whatever it is on the property appraiser. A simple way to do this is to just go on PropWire. Just go on PropWire. Let's go click a random property and you click on the owner's name. You see the owner's name. You just copy and paste it just like you see it on PropWire. You can also find this information on your county's property appraiser's website. And then the buyer's name should be your name, or if you have an LLC, you should put your LLC name. So our LLC, Blackstone Private Equity. A lot of times I get this question from new wholesalers. Should I have an LLC to get started? The answer is no, you do not need an LLC to start. You can just go ahead and put your name on the purchase agreement. So my name's Harwin Francois. If I did not have Blackstone Private Equity, I would put my name. Right? But if you are looking to do this business long term or after even a couple deals, I would advise any wholesaler to please go ahead and get yourself an LLC. It costs super cheap. A lot of people don't even know how cheap it is. It costs like $200, right? So super cheap, and it just gives you protection. And it's also like a perception thing. If you tell a seller that, I'm with Blackstone Private Equity or versus, oh yeah, I'm just with my name, Harwin Francois, she definitely trusts the person who has a company name rather than the person's name. So just a perception thing, it helps out a lot as well. Okay, next we would go to the street address. So for the street address, you're going to paste it just like you see it on Property Appraiser. So I'd go ahead and copy it and paste that right there, right? The street address for the deal that you're trying to get locked up with the seller. Then this is pretty much self-explanatory. City, state, and zip code that it's in. You guys know that. Legal description. So I remember when I first got started, I had no idea what a legal description was. I'm gonna show you guys an easy way to do this and to get access to the legal description. Same thing that I've been showing you guys for quite some time. Go on propwire.com, go on property. If you scroll down, you will see the legal description right here. You would then go ahead and copy that and paste it just like you see it. Another way to get the legal description, let's say for some reason PropWire is not working, or you would just go on your property appraiser's website. So I'm gonna show you guys that as well. I'd go ahead and copy and paste this. I'd go ahead and put Hillsborough. I then go on the county's appraiser's website of whatever county you're in. For this property that I'm showing you guys, this is in Tampa. I am then going to search the address, click on that, and then I will look for legal description, which the legal description is right here, and it should match exactly what you see on PropWire. So same thing that I see on PropWire. So That's how you find the legal description, and make sure that you have this legal description, just because whenever you send this deal into escrow or the title company, they know exactly what property you're talking about if the address was wrong, okay? Okay guys, this is probably the most important part, which is the purchase price, okay? Total deposit, earnest money. So earnest money deposit, AKA EMD, this is the good faith deposit that you make to the seller to show them that you're serious, that you're committed to the deal, and that you will go through with the deal. And if the deal falls out, that earnest money deposit will be theirs. I'm gonna show you guys a simple way just to protect your earnest money deposit, okay? So when I first got started, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did never really put earnest money deposit down. But now that we're running such a more legitimate business now, we never put more than $1,500 earnest money deposit, okay? And I'm gonna show you guys a way where even if I put $1,500 earnest money deposit, I will always get my money back, let's say in case the deal doesn't fall through or I can't find my end buyer. Whatever the total deposit says, it doesn't matter. You can just put, let's just say $1,000 to $1,500, okay? Never put nothing too crazy, okay? So total earnest money deposit, let's say we put $1,000 down earnest money deposit for this example. Cash due to seller at closing. I like to work backwards. So whenever I'm filling out the purchase price, I just put the total purchase price. I put the total purchase price that I came to an agreement with the seller. So let's say I came to an agreement with the seller for $100,000, right? I then put the total earnest money deposit, which is $1,000. So cash due to seller at closing, I would do $100,000 minus $1,000, which gives you $99,000. So cash due to seller at closing will be $99,000, because your earnest money deposit automatically goes into the price for the total purchase price at closing. So guys, I'm going to circle back on the earnest money deposit on how to never lose your earnest money deposit, okay? So we'll get back to that one. Closing date, this transaction shall close on or before. I always give myself 45 days to close. Usually we close a lot sooner, but I just want to give myself enough wiggle room. Let's say in the case event that there's some title issues, that's why I always put extra 45 days, because I don't want to go back to my seller and try to get an extension because we're trying to figure out some title kinks. So always give yourself enough time to either find the buyer, to both find the buyer and to close on the property, just in case if my buyer has to pull out a loan or hard money, you never know. So give yourself, the more time you have, the better, because it says on or before. So regardless, you can close on or before, okay? And closing attorney title company, guys, super important. When I first got started in the real estate business, I was working with a title company that wasn't the best. They would tell the seller too much information that they didn't need to know, and they would tell the buyers too much information that they did not need to know. So you need an investor-friendly title attorney who understands the wholesale industry, who understands, different end strategies like creative finance, novations, things like subject to. So you want a super investor-friendly title company. This is going to make or break your business. Okay, and good ways to find good closing attorneys is just go to other wholesalers in your area who are actively closing deals, right? And ask them, who are you using? And a lot of time wholesalers will gladly let you know, because they would either refer you and they'll tell you, tell the title attorney that I sent you, so they can get a discount on their next deal. Another way to find good closing attorneys is to go on your local Facebook groups. So let's say I'm wholesaling out in Tampa. I would go on Facebook and type Tampa wholesale groups, Tampa real estate wholesaling. I join all those groups, and I would literally just drop I need a super investor friendly title attorney. Please, anybody help me out. Something along those lines. Another way to find your good closing attorneys is go to your local RIAs. And guys, your local RIAs are your local real estate meetups, right? Not only are you gonna find good closing attorneys, you're gonna find your cash buyers at these same events. You could even find some good deals at these events. And then on top of that, your mind is going to open up to just see what's possible in the real estate industry. I remember my first year starting out, I would go to every local RIA meetup every single week, and that's where I found my best buyers that we continuously do business today. Don't want to go too much of a side tangent, but go to your local RIA groups. These are the places where you would find good closing attorneys and good title companies. So super important. All right, let's scroll down. The next important part is inspection period. So guys, remember when I was talking about the earnest money deposit, the EMD? So your inspection period, you always want to give it ample enough time for you to find your buyer. Because your inspection period, this is the time that you're gonna have to find your buyer. So I always give myself 7 days. I remember when I first started out, I would always put 10 days inspection just because I didn't have that big of a robust cash buyers list. So I needed more time to find a buyer. Nowadays, we probably get deals sold a lot quicker just because, you know, we've been building a great cash buyer pipeline and we've been doing this for quite some time now. So I always recommend any newbies out there, give yourself 7 to 10 days to find a buyer, okay? And as it ties into the earnest money deposit, you can always time your inspection period to, if you don't find a buyer, you can cancel the contract and you will always get your earnest money deposit back. So let's say I have 7 days inspection period. On day 6, if I still have not found a buyer, I will tell the seller I will go to the seller and let them know, hey, listen, either we're gonna have to renegotiate, and I would tell them the same thing that I've been getting feedback from my buyers that I've been sending out this deal, and tell them, hey, listen, either I need a longer inspection period or we need to go down on price. And if they do not agree to any of this, hey, that's completely fine. I will then go ahead and cancel this contract because I timed it on correctly on day 6. That way I'm still in my inspection period. So that way I can go ahead and tell the title attorney that the earnest money deposit that I deposited will come directly right back to me. So super important, always make sure you give yourself enough time to sell the deal, which this all goes into the inspection period. The next important part for all of your contracts, guys, in any purchase agreement that you sell, that you're getting locked up, you always want to have access to the property. So I always have this clause right here, which grants me as the buyer to have reasonable access to the property. So a lot of times what I do is I automatically, whatever deal I get locked up, I automatically go ahead and purchase a lockbox, or I have the seller purchase a lockbox and have them put the key inside of the lockbox, okay? That way it just makes it super easy. I don't always have to go and ask the seller, hey, listen, we're gonna be there at this time. That way, if I have a lockbox, I can just send my buyers in there without, you know, giving a notice. This only works if the property is really either vacant. Now, if the property is not vacant, I like to do just one big showing where I have all my buyers come in and I make sure my seller is not in the property, okay? Just some knowledge, just some gems that I wish I knew when I first started out that I want you guys to know. That way you guys are going through a lot smoother transactions, okay? Probably the most important part of any purchase agreement that you get locked up is this right here. This conveyable interest clause. This is I guess you can say a cute way to say assignable, right? You need your deals, your contracts to be assignable. I don't want to put assignable just because a lot of sellers, they kind of know what assignable is. That means I can assign my rights to another buyer. I usually put something along the lines of conveyable interest clause, which states the same thing, right? That way I can sell this deal to another buyer and I don't have to be the end buyer, okay? And then for the additional terms, this is where you are going to put anything that you agree to with the seller. So a lot of times with some of my deals, I usually put, I will cover, you know, moving costs. I will go ahead and put that right here. A lot of times for my deals, I say something along the lines of, I will pay for moving expenses, which should be no more than $2,000. Let's say for this example, I said that I would put this on the additional terms. Any additional terms that you come up with the seller that's not on the actual purchase agreement, you will then go ahead and put it on the additional terms section. And then very simple, last but not least, you would put today's date, seller's signature. You got to make sure you have your seller's signature, very important. And then you would put your same thing that you basically had on top of the purchase agreement, you would have on the bottom. So same seller name, same buyer's name, okay? Guys, I hope you guys found this video super helpful. I remember when I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know where to find a purchase agreement on top of, you know, knowing how to fill one out. You guys staying all the way to the end and watching the whole video, I will be dropping the same purchase agreement on the description below for you guys to have for free. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe as I got a lot more game on the way. Until next time, folks.